With the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League, we now have 10 DCEU films. So today I thought it was time for me to stop and rank all 10 DCEU films ranked from the worst to the best. And also please note that this is the last day of our DC week. I will be making a playlist of these videos later. Hey everyone, SW Nation here, and welcome back to a brand new ranking here on the channel. I like to stop and take the time to rank all 10 DCEU films ranked from the worst to the best, with Zack Snyder's Justice League included. Please note that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My list is certainly not the right list, it was just my list, and you are free to comment down below your ranking of all 10 DCEU films ranked from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. And without further ado, let's just get right into our ranking. Kicking off my list at number 10 has got to go to Justice League. Now, as someone who, when I first saw it, enjoyed the theatrical cut of Justice League, and as someone who still kind of enjoys it now, looking at Zack Snyder's Justice League and looking at how much stuff was cut and how much the tone and just the jokes and the overall structure of these films changed by bringing in a new director that didn't have the same tone as Zack Snyder and using Zack Snyder's tragedy as a way to rework his film because you didn't like it. That is pretty gross and just outright inappropriate and disrespectful towards anyone who worked on Zack Snyder's Justice League. And to me, I feel like this film right here is a perfect example of when a studio tries to rework another person's vision, when another director tries to rework another person's vision. And in my opinion, Justice League, if you don't know the full story of Zack Snyder and everything going on with this production, you're gonna kind of enjoy the movie. But after seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League, there's just no excuse. This movie is not good. Coming in at number 9 for me has got to go to Suicide Squad. The cast is all likable. I think that the first 45 minutes of this movie is actually pretty good. And I think that the film is really enjoyable, you know. At their core, the Suicide Squad have to be inside of an extraction story. They have to be hired to go extract somebody from a building, and then they gotta fight henchmen on the way. At their core, that's what the Suicide Squad is, to me at least. So I'm really excited to see what James Gunn does with this property. But inside of this film, I think the overall story is good. I think the characters is good. I think the cast is likable. Just the structure of it with all of these characters just kind of doesn't work out. The villain is not that good. And after you get past the first 45 minutes, the movie is definitely not a rewatchable one. Coming in at number 8 for me has got to go to Wonder Woman 84. I mean, this film has so much going for it. After the first film, which was great to me, I just think that this movie didn't do a great job with what they were trying to go for. It had an uninteresting plot, lack of action, and all-around cheesy acting. And yeah, you could say that they were just trying to go for a more Christopher Reeves level, but that worked for that time. This is 2020 that this film came out in. This film never quite lives up to the hype, but I think all the action when it does happen is tense and exciting. But after my first viewing of it on HBO Max like 2 months ago, I have not gotten the urge to rewatch it. Coming in at number 7 for me has got to go to Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of the Longest Name Ever. I know I keep going back and forth with this. On my 31 on 31, Birds of Prey was higher. On my DCEU ranking 2 months ago, Birds of Prey was lower, and now it's back at number 7 lower on this list. Birds of Prey kind of stuck out to me because it was already fresh in my mind. And after watching these DCEU films, Birds of Prey seems like one of the most forgettable ones inside of the list. You tend to forget about Birds of Prey. It is very good. From this film up, I love all of the films in a certain sense. It's an interesting take on the genre. They have a lot of Harley Quinn, which I love because she's her own character now. And I thought everything was very cool with the storytelling because it was so non-linear. But unlike the title, the Birds of Prey never really come together in a satisfying way. Coming in at number 6 for me has got to go to Batman vs. Superman. I think that on paper, this movie actually really works. Now, inside of the movie, some things don't work, some things definitely work for me, like the Batman stuff. Ben Affleck is my favorite Batman, and I do believe that this works as a Batman movie. It is top 5 Batman movies for me because the dialogue with Alfred and Batman is just so great and dynamic. The action is visceral, but as a Superman movie, it doesn't really work. Like I said, on paper, the ideas work. The question that's being asked inside of the film, should there be a Superman, that works. but in some cases, they don't focus on that Superman stuff a lot. They more so focuses on the Batman stuff. You also get the great introduction of Wonder Woman, but the plot and all of the Lex Luthor stuff and different storylines trying to be pushed inside of this one film, it just comes overpopulated and overstuffed, and there's really no reason why this film shouldn't have made $1 billion in its sleep. Real quick, before I get into my top 5 list, I'd like to take the time to say that if you are a big fan of DC, which you probably are, that's why you're watching this video, click that playlist up above for everything DC related that I have on my channel. I also have the review of Zack Snyder's Justice League in the link down below. Also, please note that this is day 7 and our last day of our DC week. I will be making a playlist of all 7 of our DC week videos. That link will be in the description down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. And without further ado, let's just get right into our top 5. Kicking off my top 5 list has got to go to Aquaman. I think that Jason Momoa is just having a blast inside of this film. He seems like he's having just a fun time playing this wacky character. And at its core, Aquaman is a wacky character. He talks to fish. His powers only work in water. Zack Snyder changed that because Aquaman is very cool, and James Wan changed that as well because he also continued the same character that Zack Snyder originally conceived. I believe that Aquaman is such a great, fun movie. The visuals underneath the water are astounding and just so colorful. And it's so weird that a movie featuring the butt end of all jokes in superhero content, Aquaman, he only can talk to fish, that movie made $1 billion when a movie featuring Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman couldn't even beat Aquaman at the box office. Coming in at number 4 for me has got to go to Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is the newest addition to the DCEU, even though this is kind of like the same movie as Justice League, just extended to 4 hours. And to me, that's one of the negatives, or kind of like the mixed parts about the movie, is the fact that the movie is 4 hours when it doesn't really need to be. I had a pretty fun time with it. It expanded the mythology a lot. It expanded the world, the whole entire universe of the DCEU. And in Zack's vision, that's what the setup was inside of Man of Steel and BVS. Those two movies, they were all set up for this film. The overall scale and scope of this movie is huge because we have such big, larger-than-life icon. I really do want to see the Snyderverse restored because what they showed me inside of this film has my interest. It has me curious about what this universe that Zack was conceiving going forward in the future. Kicking off my top 3 list has got to go to Man of Steel. This is my favorite Superman movie of all time. I just love the fact that it doesn't have to rely on the rest of the cinematic universe for it to stand on its own, because it wasn't trying to set up a cinematic universe. It was just trying to tell one story about the Man of Steel, about the origins of Kal-El, about Clark Kent. And what I love is the fact that Zack Snyder decided to focus more on the identity crisis of Clark Kent, trying to focus more on where does he fit inside of this world. That's the question that he's asking himself. What is my purpose? Why was I sent here? Why did my planet die? What is my heritage? And I think all of that is explored greatly inside of this film. Now, this could have easily gone at number 4 because Zack Snyder's Justice League, I enjoyed that a lot more. But what's better about this film is the fact that it focuses more on character, whereas that movie, it does focus on a lot of characters. Like, I love that movie now, but that one was more so focusing on the big scale epicness of it all. And this one decided to focus more on the character of Superman without having to rely on any other plot line. My runner-up at number 2 has got to go to Wonder Woman. I just thought always Wonder Woman was a character that I loved. I mean, when she appeared in BVS, I thought that she was just one of the best characters inside of that film. And to me, this movie is no different. The movie itself, aside from the bad third act, I thought all of it was just pretty great and awesome. I mean, Gal Gadot is the best choice to play this character, and I stand by that. Even though her acting was not the best back then, it is still progressing and getting a lot better. She just has this certain charisma and naiveness to the character that makes her so likable, but also being fierce. And that inside of this film, they realize you can make a powerful female-led superhero movie without having to put down male characters. But coming in at my number 1 has got to go to Shazam. Now, aside from the big negative, that is, Billy Batson is really not a good guy. At some scenes he is, but overall, this film doesn't portray Billy in the best way, especially after what I saw with the Lego counterpart of the character. I know I shouldn't compare the two, but still. Zachary Levi plays Kid Billy so well because he is essentially a big kid. I mean, the advantages that this film has with not really being a big blockbuster, but it's actually a family film. Like, besides, demons biting heads off, it's just so great how this movie just explores Billy's story and eventually him finding a family. This movie is just hilarious to me and one of the most rewatchable ones on this list. But I do have a big problem with Shazam sharing his powers with everyone. But other than that, perfectly great film. This is why Shazam has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that was it for the ranking. Please note that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list, it was just my list. And you're free to comment down below your ranking of all 10 DCEU films ranked from the worst to the best, just like me. Or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. And also don't forget that this is the last day of our DC week. I will be making a playlist of all of our DC week videos. Like, comment, and subscribe guys. And I will see you all next time. Peace.